Well, it's Preacher Man Piper, Doc Hatfield. I wanted to come on here and talk to you a little bit about one of the dearest friends I've ever had. His name was LaDon Mott. LaDon Mott just recently passed away. When I first met LaDon, I met him on house party. We hit it right off because a lot of what he did and what he does and how he did it and how he lived his life is a lot how I lived my life and how I've done things. We hit it off right away because he was homebound, and I'm pretty much homebound. And because I ended up being homebound, my friends went by the wayside. They quit calling, they quit coming by, they quit coming and seeing me. The same was with LaDon. He and I both had friends and we enjoyed that friendship. But once that we got homebound, him just as much as me, our friends quit calling, our friends quit checking in on us, our friends quit coming by. They just left us by the wayside. And we hit a camaraderie as two people who enjoyed smoking a pipe. We enjoyed the same pipes, we enjoyed the same tobacco. He would tell stories of the jobs he had, I'd tell stories of the jobs that I had. A lot of the jobs he had was a lot of the jobs I had. We enjoyed each other's company immensely, immensely. And we had other friends on here that we had close personal relationships with as time went on. We hadn't known each other but probably just 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And one fella came on here and said that people like me and LaDon, we were mentally ill because we were homebound and didn't have no friends. Well, LaDon made short work of that. And that old boy went to the wayside. He didn't come back on house party anymore. But LaDon was one of a kind. One of a kind. You won't find another one like him. Nowhere. He was generous to a fault. And what I mean by that, he loved people. He loved people. He loved to give to people. He loved to help people. He said to me one day, he said, Doc, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to promise you, you will never do without tobacco. I'll make sure you always got tobacco. And he would send me tobaccos, and every time he'd send me tobacco, he'd send me a pipe. He'd send me a pipe tamper. Sent me a cigar pipe tamper. He was always giving. And he was sneaky. The last generous thing that he did on this earth was send me this pipe. I don't call this a cannonball pipe. I call this a LaDon Mott pipe. It's my favorite pipe. I was on here talking on house party, and he saw that I was doing something on my computer, and he said, "What are you doing, Doc?" And I said, "Well, to be honest, I've been saving the money up, and I'm about got the money in the next couple of months to buy a pipe." And I said, "But I can't think of the name of it for nothing." He said, "I bet it's a cannonball pipe." I said, "That's it right there." So I went to Briarworks, and I looked all through their stuff. They had no cannonball pipe. He said, "Well, maybe Smoking Pipes or Tobacco Pipes has one." So I went to Smoking Pipes, and I found this pipe. I said, "Yeah, Smoking Pipes has them." I said, "So whenever I get my money in a couple of months, I'm going to buy me one of those pipes." Because he had one too, and he loved his cannonball pipe. In fact, he asked that it be put in the casket with him. And so he said, "Well, how many pipes does Smoking Pipes have?" And I said, "I don't know. I don't know how to tell." He told me how to go find out, so I did. I said, "Oh, it's just got one." But I said, "They'll probably have another one within 2 months, surely." He said, "Well, I think that one's sold." I said, "No, it's not." I said, "It shows I can put it in a basket." "I'm pretty sure," he said, "it's sold." And I said, "Now, I'm looking at it right here. It says I can put it in a basket." He said, "I've got to go do something." He said, "I'll be back in a minute." When he took off and he was gone, and Leo was on here with me and with us, and I told Leo, I said, "What did he do?" He said, "Well," he said, "probably a little sneaky thing." I said, "Well, okay." And so when he come back on, he said, "Hey, by the way," he said, "is that pipe still for sale?" I said, "Yeah, it says I can put it in my basket here." He said, "Well, refresh that page." I refreshed that page, and it was sold. I said, "That thing's sold already." He said, "I know it. I bought it." I said, "You bought it? What do you mean you bought it?" He said, "I bought it." I said, "Well, goodness sakes alive." He said, "I bought it for you. I've been wanting to buy you one of them. And so I just went ahead and bought it." And he said, "Now it's already done. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing." And that's what he'd always tell us. It didn't make no difference if it was me or somebody else. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. And he sent me 5 different tobaccos with it. And he sent me another tamper. He was a man who loved people. He was a man who cared. He was a man who went out of his way to show how much he cares. He was just that way. He would talk about doing this job. And I said, well, I did that for a while. I didn't do it very long, but I did that for a while. And we'd talk about the jobs that we'd do. And we'd tell each other stories. We'd tell everybody else on house party stories. And just have the best time you ever seen in all your life. See, I didn't have no friends. But I gained valuable friends on house party. And I gained a special friend in LaDon Mott. He was precious to me. I loved him dearly. I was older than him. I mean, you know, I was almost old enough to be his daddy. We're not going to go into that, though. But he was just one that he would come on house party and all of a sudden they'd start making those noises that house party makes when you're trying to contact somebody. And we'd talk. It'd be of a morning time we'd talk, sometimes of an evening time, sometimes of an afternoon time. But LaDon was true blue. LaDon's wife and my wife had the same name. My wife is Carla. Her name starts with a C. His wife's name is Carla. It starts with a K. But we both had the same, had a wife with the same name. And we would have fun with that. But I know he loved his wife dearly. Dearly. He always spoke highly of her. Very highly of her. He would do things for her. He would talk about, he ordered this new and for her, and they're waiting for it to come in. He ordered that new for her, and that waiting for that to come in. He was a loving, generous, kind, benevolent friend. And I just wanted to share that with you. I just wanted you to share what he did for me. He gave me a friend that I will always have throughout all eternity. And he gave me new friends besides himself. Now I have one on the YTPC, and I won't mention her name, but she calls me her uncle. And I like that. I just know that there's a great hole that cannot be filled. It can't be filled. But one day I'll see LaDon again. Because he knew his Savior. And he is in the portals of glory right now. They said that when he passed away, that there was a tear come out of this eye. And the nurses were stunned. They said, "We've never seen that before." Well, can I tell you what that tear was? That was a tear of joy. A tear of joy, knowing that he was now in heaven. I hope you'll see that you can go to heaven and be with LaDon. Now, I don't know who said it, but I kind of like it. If there's anything that he's doing now, he's smoking the purest of tobacco could ever be smoked. In heaven. Somebody said, "You think God smokes pipe?" Well, what do you think a church warden is? I'm praying for his family, his wife, his son, his daughter, their children. And I hope you'll pray for them too. And I hope that you will go back and look at LaDon's YouTube channel and just go through his videos and enjoy seeing him again. Okay? Well, before I get all broke up here, I'm gonna go now. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.